Hi there, welcome back to the 30 and 30 videos in 30 days here on Our Wyoming Life. My name is Mike. We just got done packing jerky orders. All these orders of jerky heading out to folks all across the United States directly from the ranch. Thank you very much for joining us today. It is the 15th episode of the 30 and 30 for the month of April. We're going to be wrapping things up with a 24-hour live stream, and it is 14 videos away. I can't wait. If you ordered jerky this week, I really want to just personally thank you for supporting the ranch. All of this jerky, of course, raised right here on the ranch, packaged and inspected in Sturgis, South Dakota, comes right back to the ranch and shipped out to you guys. A great way to take home a piece of the ranch and support it at the same time. All right, we are headed out to check the cows, but that's not the only thing that we're doing today. We've got a very special episode in store just for the 15th and the halfway mark. Since it is the halfway mark of the 30 and 30, I thought I'd take a chance to do something that I haven't done for quite a while, and that is sit down and actually answer comments live on, well, not live, but, you know, live for me, off the cuff, no scripted response, no nothing, right here, and just for you guys. Before we get to that, though, we do have some stuff that needs to be taken care of on the ranch. The cold weather continues. It's like 4 degrees outside. It's cold, 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 but that's not altogether a bad thing, I guess. I mean, the wind is still blowing a little bit, so wind chills are down into the negative digits, but our cows seem pretty dang healthy. We're out here checking cows right now, and we just want to take a look at all the calves and make sure that everybody's okay and up and moving. And I can see some calves up here playing in the lot. We've now had 13 calves on the ranch. There's 12 live calves. Of course, we lost number 1 last night, which was, well, sucked. But these guys all look pretty dang good. Lots of calves out here moving around. Our newest calf is number 13, which has traditionally been an unlucky number for me when it comes to calves. But I'm going to see if I can find her for you so that you can meet her. There she is right here. Number 13. That's not your calf. Number 2. Come here. Come here, number 2. Come here. Number 13 belongs to number 2, who is one of our favorite cows. Come here, number 2. Tell you what, you want to get number 2 to do something, we're going to grab ourselves a piece of cake here. Come here, girlie. Come here. This is your baby. Here. What is going on? This is your baby. You made a cute baby. Yes, you did. You did. You made a cute baby. Also hanging out up here in the barn, there's number 12. Number 11 hiding underneath there. Up here's number 4. Here's number 4. Hey, kiddo. But so far today, it's been pretty dang quiet. Everybody's been just kind of hanging out, enjoying the cool temperatures. The sun's trying to shine, and I think that's why everybody's getting up and moving, which is nice. And it doesn't feel as cold out here as it really is. Kiddo number 5. There's number 5, the other half of the Wonder Twins. Slime me. They're all dirty. Yeah. Why are you so dirty? Number 5's twin sister Marty is still in the barn. We're gonna go see her today and feed her this afternoon, so make sure you stick around for that. A few of these cows kind of getting out and stretching their legs a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. This is a group of cows over here that have not had a calf yet. And what I'll actually see, and I think is kind of amazing, is we'll see cows start to separate themselves off based on who's had calves and who hasn't. The cows that have had calves will tend to hang out with each other. They'll babysit for each other, they'll keep an eye out. The cows that haven't had calves yet, they'll kind of go and do their own thing, and they'll hang out together also. But we definitely see separation within the herd starting right about now. So kind of an interesting law of nature, I guess. Or I just have weird cows, one or the other. Hey kiddo, what are you doing over here? I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. And we're heading back up to the windbreak where Miss Priss, Sassy Pants, has been hanging out. And she's really wanted to be separate since her calf was born. Hey kiddo, are you done being mad at me? Hey. Are you done being mad at me? Why don't you go back with the herd? Huh? Cows are so weird. They all have their own certain little personalities, and they really do tend to come out during calving season, and we start seeing exactly what these cows are made of, just like number 8 there, who just, you know, has been mad at me for what, 3 days now? Now she's finally starting to warm up to me a little bit, but yeah, she's been a little bit cranky. That is one of the questions that I always get on the channel. Tell me about the personalities of your cows. And really, it's hard to tell you about them because, well, a lot of times they don't come out but once or twice a year. But when you do see their personalities, it is kind of interesting. So really, the best way to learn about the personality of the cows is just to watch and follow along. In fact, there's a lot of questions that we get asked all the time, and some not so much all the time, but we never get a chance to answer them. So that's why I'm very happy to do an episode like this where we can sit down and answer some of those comments. So why don't you meet me in the shop? We'll take a look at some of the comments that I've never had a chance to answer. And then after that, we'll make a bottle and we'll go feed our bottle calf, Marty. Stick around. All right, guys, welcome to the shop. This is the license plate wall. By the way, all of these plates sent in by subscribers from all over the world. We've got plates from Germany, from Dubai, from all 50 states. I'm pretty proud of it. And thank you to everybody who's sent in plates over the years. And if you'd like your plate on the wall, you can still send it to us. Our address is in the description down below or on our info page on our homepage. All right, guys. So I promised you we would sit down and take a look at some comments. In fact, I have a list right here. These comments were actually compiled by Erin and Matt and Jeff, along with people that receive our newsletter. About a week ago, I asked folks in the newsletter to take a look back at some old videos and find some interesting comments that they would like answered and let me know where those comments were, and I will feature them in today's video. So thank you for anybody who participated in that as well. Before we get into that, I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about comments and how they affect me, my family, and probably a lot of YouTubers. So I think a lot of people don't realize that when you comment online, that people are actually reading these things, that people see them, at least most of the time. When I worked in radio, there was a program director told me that for every one complaint that you get, it's worth 100, because there's 99 people who aren't going to say a thing, but they're still just as offended or bothered or whatever else by what you said. Now, on the flip side of that, for every attaboy that you get, there's 100 people out there, or 99 people that don't say anything either. So it works both ways. However, we all know that the negative tends to overshadow the positive. It's just human nature, and it's just the way things work. When we first started on YouTube back in 2017, I actually prided myself in the fact that Erin and I answered every single comment. If you've been around for quite a while, you know that. We answered, up until the time we hit probably pretty close to 100,000 subscribers, Erin and I were doing our very best to answer every single comment that came into the channel. The problem is that not all comments are good. So at some point, I really had to make a decision for myself. So that decision actually started with Erin saying, we have to turn off notifications on our phone. Used to be that, if you commented, it would pop right up on my phone. Boom, you got a comment on this video. I can still do that. I can have it set up that way. Number one, it's constantly going, so there's that problem. But number two, it was like a constant dread hanging over you. Every time you'd open up and you look at a comment, you're like, oh, okay, good, it's a good one. But if it was a bad one, it could definitely throw your entire day off. So we decided that we were just going to take off the notifications altogether and answer comments after we put out a new video. So if anybody hasn't caught on, usually we answer comments on a new video for anywhere from an hour, half an hour to an hour after that video comes out. Erin and I are answering comments. We may not answer every single comment, but we do get in there and we start mixing it up. What we find is that as time goes on, then you start getting trolls and all kinds of other stuff that start popping up, and that's when it can really kind of wear and tear on your mental health, if that makes any sense. So a lot of times questions that or comments that come up later on never get answered, and unfortunately that's just the nature of the beast. The same thing actually is happening with emails as well. With the 30 of 30, we're putting out a video every day. So you have to think about the amount of feedback that's coming back to us. Normal schedule is 2 videos per week. So normally we're putting out 8 videos a month. Now all of a sudden we're putting out 30 videos in 1 month. And the amount of feedback, of course, is proportionate to that. So we're seeing that grow as well. So obviously we're being inundated with emails and comments and phone calls and everything else. So it's and it's all coming through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, anywhere anybody can find us, really, Twitter, the farm store, all kinds of, it's all coming at us all at once. So I actually had to make the decision earlier this week to say, okay, I have to turn off notifications for emails as well, which is kind of a little tricky, because like I could get an email from a sponsor or somebody that really needs to talk to me, and I don't see it. I look at my emails now in the morning, and I look at them at night. Now that'll probably change once we get out of the 30 and 30, but that's the kind of stuff that happens, and it's tricky because we are still human, obviously, and I always equate it to if you went to work every single day and you had 50 people who told you you suck, that you're no good at your job, that you're doing this wrong. If that happened to you every single day, it doesn't matter how many people are telling you you're great or that you're doing things right or you're trying or whatever else. Eventually, you're going to be like, you know what? I don't need this job. I'm out of here. So that's where we have to regulate it for ourselves. But I do know that we miss a lot of things. So again, we had Matt and Jeff and Erin sat down. They went through comments, and I didn't have anything to do with it. We had people from the newsletter, which are just regular subscribers that subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do on our website, and get a newsletter every week about what goes on the ranch and behind the scenes and our thoughts and all that kind of stuff. And it's totally free. That they came up with this sheet, which has comments on it. So we're going to get started. April 7th, Andre said, why don't you bring your cows into the barn out of the wind before they calve? So it's tricky for us. First of all, we don't have a calving barn. We have a barn where the cows can get in and out of the wind, but obviously they're still just in this barn. And that barn, of course, is located in about a 3-acre lot. There's water, we feed them there and all that kind of stuff. But, we're not really limiting their movement. So what we're practicing basically here on the ranch during calving season is more of a free-range calving. Our calves are out on 400 acres for calving most of the time. Unless the weather's bad, we'll move them back to about 20 acres. But for me, allowing those cows to go out and have their calves naturally, that where they choose where they want to have them. I rarely have issues with cows having calves in areas that I don't want them to have them. And if I had them locked into a smaller area, that area does eventually get muddy. It gets overgrazed. It gets trampled, and the ground gets tore up, and then we've got more problems with calves getting sick. And so what I like to do is actually just let them go out, let them be cows, and let them be a little bit more natural. Now, is that the right thing to do? Maybe not, but it's definitely what I want to do. And it's has it bit me in the butt before? Yeah, it has. But it's something that I deal with as we go. So I always have to weigh the pros and the cons and things like that. And being able to do what I do, it makes sense to us. From Joseph Nelson, you farm for the video, not 'cause the joy of being a farmer, in my opinion. Which obviously any comment that anybody leaves is in their opinion. That's actually a good thing to remember. That's somebody's opinion. Great. But by saying you farm for the video, I farm for a lot of different reasons. I farm and ranch 99% of the reason that I farm and ranch, and it isn't for the joy of being a farmer or joy of being a rancher, it's for my family. It's to support my family. So if I can merge my old career and my new career and make something that educates people, that helps people realize where their food comes from, that brings people closer to farmers and ranchers, closer to agriculture as a whole, I'm all for that. So Joseph, saying that I farm for the video, that's not right. Your opinion, it's wrong. All right, next question. We're gonna move right along here. From E. Ayers, what exactly is cake? Great question. I've seen it pop up a lot lately, and sometimes we just throw it out there and people are like, what is cake? What is happening? It's not a cake. That was a cake that I made for Cow Appreciation Day a few years ago. No, cake is, I actually have some. Cake is this. It is a supplement that we give the cows that's full of protein and vitamins and a bunch of other stuff. Cows like it. They'll pretty much do anything for it. Most of them will. You see them eat it out of our hands. We use it to move them around. It's a good thing to have in your arsenal. The reason it's called cake, get ready for a little lesson here. Originally, this was made from cottonseed, and it probably still is. Probably a lot of it is cottonseed. When they take cottonseed or sunflower seed or whatever else they make this out of, and they press it. So it goes in these big presses. They press the seed, the oil comes out the bottom. When they press it all together, everything that's left, the husk, all the meat, and everything else in that seed is what, it all gets compressed together. What they call that compressed cube or portion, they called cake. That cake, then they put it through an extruder, make it into nice little round things like this, then it comes to us. You'll also see it underneath different names. Range cubes is one that I think is used in Texas and down south, although I don't understand because they're not cubes. They're like cylinders, so they'd be range cylinders. Sometimes we get emails, like I mentioned, and the next one that I'm going to read to you is actually an email that was sent just this morning, and it's from a guy named Jack. And Jack said, "Don't let Matt tag any of the newborn calves again. It is probably a bit painful for them, and Matt, with his disability, makes it more painful trying to tag them." That one kind of pisses me off, and I'll tell you why. First of all, Matt is my friend. He is from Chicago. He's a retired Chicago police officer, and he has MS. He has for years. And we have him out here at the ranch because he's doing what he wants to do. He wants to be out here, which is fine. Great. Come on out, Matt. And you can do whatever you want to do. Matt wants to hay. Matt drives tractors. Matt's always out in the gator. Heck, sometimes I can't even get the gator because I have to call Matt and I'm like, "Hey, I need the gator, man. Bring it back." He's out checking cows. He's doing what he can do. But I'll tell you one thing. Matt's not doing anything that Matt doesn't want to do. By saying, "Don't let Matt tag any of the newborn calves ever again," Matt's doing what he wants to do. If Matt wants to tag a calf, he can tag a calf. That calf that he tagged, look at that, didn't make a peep. That calf wasn't hurt. In fact, that calf we're going to go feed in just a little bit here. Alrighty, from Jim Spicer. I don't know anything about how drones work, but I was wondering if one would come in handy to help keep an eye on the cows and where they're wandering off to. I get this quite a bit about the drones and what we can do with them and what we can't do with them. One of the problems with the drones is, I don't have one here with me, but the screen is about the size of my phone. So when I'm looking at that screen, it's pretty small. So people that say, "Hey, go out and check the cows with the drone, see who's calving and who's not," I would have to fly right up in a cow's hoo-ha to be able to tell what's happening up in there, and I'm sure they're not going to let me do that. Now, Jim's idea of using it to see who's wandering off and who's doing what, that's actually not a bad idea, and I have done that. You can see the cows from up high, but it's just as easy to jump in the gator and drive out there, and I'm more of a hands-on type guy. I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit in the shop and fly around on a drone and be like, "Oh, now I have to go out anyway. That cow's looking suspicious." But not a bad idea. I mean, it definitely could be done, but it's just kind of an extra step to get to the same place. From Watcher, this is 2 days ago. Is the amount of snow you had this winter at all encouraging? I don't know what's normal versus how much you've had. I honestly don't know how much snow we've had at this point. Not much. I want to say maybe a foot, maybe foot and a half, maybe 2 feet. 2 feet. But I can tell you that our normal is about 60 inches of snow. So obviously snow is way low. We're in the middle of a drought. I get quite a bit where people say, "Hey, it's raining, the drought is over." And I'm like, it rained 1/10 of an inch. Like, that's not going to end the drought. I don't even know if 5 inches or 10 inches of rain would end the drought. We don't get that much rain to start with. 14 inches of rain per year is all that we get, 14 to 16. So if we get back to that, I guess they would say the drought is over. I don't know, maybe it would take a couple of years of that before they say the drought was over. I honestly don't know how they figure that out. All I know is it is really dry and we need rain. I guess the last one that I'm going to read here ties right into that. This is from Cody Ryan. "I'm glad I don't buy hay. I cut my own hay." We'd like to cut our own hay too. Buying hay is horrible. We've been dealing with it for years now. I think 4 out of the last 5 years, we've had to purchase hay, and it's not cheap, and it keeps on going up. Price of trucking, diesel fuel, everything else is supply and demand. It's all going through the roof. So yeah, Cody likes to cut his own hay. That's great. I'm happy for you. And this is one of the problems that we run into quite a bit on the channel, and something I can never stress enough, but I've kind of given up in trying to explain in videos, is that every place is different. If you live here, it's different than it is in Missouri. You know, you may, even in South Dakota, 150 miles away, you can get 2 or 3 cuttings of hay over there. We get 1 cutting here if we're lucky. Regenerative agriculture or rotational grazing, all that kind of stuff is a completely different animal here, because when we cut the hay, whether it's us cutting the hay or the cows cutting it for us, which is what they're doing when they're out there eating, it's done, it's gone. We move on. We're on to the next pasture as soon as they eat that one down. So, Cody, I'm glad that you can cut your own hay. I wish I could cut my own right now, and hoping that we do get some rain and we're able to do that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed learning about cake, and I hope that we can do this again sometime, where we sit down and answer some questions and comments and kind of give you guys a little bit of an insight as to, and these are nicer ones, by the way. We had a moment where I was like, I want to answer some of the nastiest comments that we get, and Erin said, you don't want to do that. It'll make you mad, it'll make you look bad in front of people, it'll backfire, and it probably would. So I decided to say, okay guys, give me some that are good questions, but also, you know, or, you know, maybe just the fact that somebody doesn't understand exactly what is happening, or you know, that Matt does what Matt wants to do. I'm not making him do anything. That we make videos because we like making videos and we like educating people, but we also love farming, and we love ranching, and we love our family, and we love supporting our family, and we love being able to provide beef and pork to our community and people all over the U.S. So that's it, guys, with our Q&A. Our Q&A? Comments? Mike reads comments? I don't know what it's called. But if you like this, be sure to comment down below and tell us you liked it, and maybe I'll do it again sometime. In the meantime, I've got one hungry calf out there. You can see it's dark outside. Mackenzie actually had a cello recital this evening, so we kind of had to take a little break from filming and go and deal with that. So I'm late feeding the bottle calf, Marty, so we're going to do that really quick, and I think we're going to let him out to play, at least in the barn. I think I said him. It's actually a her. By the way, Mackenzie did great at her cello recital. And to tell you the truth, I never ever thought I would have a kid who would play the cello. So, stranger things have happened. All right, let's go back and find our bottle calf. With our cold temperatures and really, I mean, the wind and everything else, and we've been having weather that should be like January around here. Definitely not April weather. So our calf, our bottle calf, normally would be out inside, and we'd be letting her move around a little bit more. But we really don't want her to go outside because I don't want her to freeze to death. So she's been a little cooped up. So I think today I've got the barn all closed up here. We can let her get out and move around. But first I want to introduce you to a friend of ours, a brand new addition to the ranch that probably hasn't gotten the attention that she deserves. This is my friend Ethel. Hi, Ethel. She's kind of been in the same boat where, hey kiddo, she's been stuck inside, hasn't been able to get out as much, and that's due to the cold weather. Sorry, kiddo. I got you a little bit of screen time, but it's not all about you. Rooster. There's our peacock over there, doing majestic peacock things. For right now, hey, let's bring out Marty. Hey, Marty. How's that ear tag doing that Matt put in there? How's that ear tag doing? Sorry, I'm beating a dead horse, but Kiddo. Hey. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Hey, Marty. Oh, there you go. All right. Okay, don't drink too fast. Very, very thirsty kid. Whoa. I think it's all done. All right, kiddo. No, you stay out. No, don't go back in here. Come back out. Come back out. Okay, so I have to run back in the shop really quick. She's gonna stay out here. I'm gonna let her kind of move around a little bit and stretch her legs. Having a bottle calf is full of things that I never thought I would have to do. And unfortunately, she doesn't have a mom. So one of mom's jobs would be to keep her bottom clean. Nobody here to do that except for me and Jeff and Matt. So we find ourselves on TP duty occasionally. The baby poops can be a little sticky. Hey. I gotcha. There. Exercise is good for him. Good for me too. All right, let's get her put back away. And I'm gonna show you something else here. I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but Marty also has roommates. Check this out. Let me see what you got there. Can I see what you got? Oh, that little kitten? Oh, poor little kittens. Okay, you're fine. And peacocks, chickens, and a donkey. Come on, kiddo. Back to bed. Oh, yeah, look at that. Good job. I wonder if bottle calves ever go back to the calves in the field and be like, well, there was this giant blue bird that lived with me, and I had these little furry things, and something that hissed at me a lot, and there was a really loud miniature horse thing that lived next door. Maybe. It sure wouldn't surprise me. I'd tell all my friends. Of course, that'd be you guys, because you guys are my friends. Thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. The 30 and 30 continues. We've got a whole lot more on the way. I'm actually waiting for the weather to break because, like I've said before, I can't get this door open because I don't have enough hands. Like I said before, we've got a lot of projects to get done and a little time to get them done in. We've got a feedlot to build. We've got RV parking spots to put in. We've got scales to put in. We've got to bangs vaccinate heifers. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it because there's just so much stuff that needs done. But weather will break. Next week we're looking at temperatures back up in the 60s because Wyoming weather is a little drunk sometimes. And yeah, we'll get right back into it. So stick around. The 30 and 30 continues. The next 14 days slated to be awesome as we head into the 24-hour live stream, and I hope that you can join us for part of that, if not all of it, because I actually got some emails already where people, yeah, I read the email, where people have said, I actually took vacation days to hang out for the 24-hour live stream. Crazy. Alrighty guys, take it easy. We'll see you next time right here on Our Wyoming Life.